there were definitely some ideas to create Rebirth DLC. And that was the plan at a certain point in time. But when we revisited this topic, that was a little tongue twister there. We thought about what our priorities should be and what the fans are looking forward to the most. And we figured what the fans wanted the most was to bring the third installment as soon as possible. That would take priority over Rebirth DLC, so we decided to take that approach. With that being said, once we release the third installment, there is a possibility of having DLC for that third installment. With the conclusion of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, there's probably going to be a much wider audience for Final Fantasy as a whole. Whether we bring another new DLC or a full title, well, that's something we are actively considering.
Oh yeah.
All right, y'all. I love starting the Hypecast off with a quote from Hypecast. All right, listen, everybody's got their own names going on right now. We're starting a new one. All right, everybody's got Hamaguchi. We got the Gooch. No, we got Hamaguchi. We got
I like Hamaguchi.
You don't like the
Hamaguchi?
You don't like the Gooch?
I don't like the emphasis on Gooch, no.
So I figured we would go with Hypecast. It's on brand. Okay, because this is the Hypecast. So I just wanted to say, welcome in everybody. Let's get hype for this. This is Hypecast out here, just talking to just everybody. You know, if there's an event coming up this Friday, I think it is the London Comic-Con, if I'm correct. And there's a panel going on with Hamaguchi, John Eric Bentley. Is Brianna White part of that? I think Brianna White's in there as well. And maybe Britt Baron. I'm sorry. I don't know if these are the exact I know for sure Hamaguchi and John Eric Bentley are there. So this is this Friday. He might even be doing some more interviews.
I know. I've noticed that wherever Mr. Bentley goes, Brianna White's not far behind. I feel like they're always doing interviews and stuff together. So
yeah, they're really tight. They're best friends.
They are. They seem very tight.
Yeah. So I'm excited to talk about all this with you. But first, I would like to do a little housekeeping for you guys, everybody, because coming up on Saturday, November 1st, is Final Anniversary 5, y'all. Final Anniversary 5. That's 5 years of Final Fan TV.
Oh, yeah.
On that day, 5 years ago, I created the YouTube channel. That was yesterday, by the way, I think. Was that yesterday or today? Either way. It's today.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
It was today.
It was today.
You don't have to tell me. I was there. It was 23. Yeah, that was me. I did that 5 years ago on this day. So technically today is the 5th anniversary. So there you go. But we're celebrating it November 1st. And the best way we can do this is to celebrate it in hype style, maybe like in the warrior of hype style. So I've gathered some content creator friends. I've gathered some friends, and we're going to have a cool event. The first up is going to be Tyler Hepner. I've talked about this last time. We made this announcement. Tyler Hepner is going to be on the show. Not only on the show, talking about this is going to be a Hypecast, a special Hypecast that takes place at the top of the stream. He's going to be doing live art again for us. Just confirmed that today. He's going to be doing live art, a picture-in-picture like we had during the Rebirth Chapter 14, and where he was in that picture-in-picture just drawing away. Well, he's going to do that again. How cool is that? How freaking cool is that? So that's kind of an announcement in itself. He's going to be doing live art. But not only that, he's going to be talking about the box art of Part 3 with us. So we're going to be predicting what we think the box art's going to be. Maybe we'll gamify it a little bit where we'll say, hey, we'll basically put our predictions in for the composition. It doesn't have to be like the best art we've ever seen, but I just kind of want to see where you guys, it could be stick figures, it doesn't matter. You could point at it and say, this is Barrett, this, and if you have that element right, it's gonna be so many points, right? We're just gonna reward so many points, and it's gonna be like, whose line is it anyway, if you know what I mean. All right, with these points. But anyways, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then I would like to make a special announcement right now, and then we'll get into the Hypecast, I promise, the one that's today. But I gotta make a special announcement right here at the top of this show. If you guys are not aware of who this is, I'm sure you are. His name is Pez. That's P-E-Z-Z. Is going to be on the show for Final Fantasy Draft. And no, it's not all. Genesis 7 will also be on the show for the Final Fantasy Draft segment. That is Final Fantasy Draft Build a Final Fantasy Edition. And there's more on that at the end of the Hypecast. Also, the survey for the Final Fantasy Family Feud mini game show will be published this week, so keep an eye out on the posts here on YouTube. I want you guys to fill out that survey because it's going to be very, very important. You decide the top answers on the board, so please fill that out. Look for it later on in this week when I post that. That's enough. Housekeeping, hypekeeping. I was going to call it hypekeeping. We're just going to change everything to hype, I guess. I don't know. That's the brand now. We're just hypekeeping. So there you go. Now let's dive into this, everybody, okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really need to take notes because our good friends over at Shinra Archaeology Department just sharing everything. If you don't follow them, please do. Because whenever there's an interview, they're always just doing either it's translations or just direct sharing the news. So they have pretty much got this covered. So I want to kind of read these off. Now, do we want to jump right into the juice, or do we go, what are we doing here? Like, we want to go somewhere else with it, because man, did Hamaguchi talk a lot, and he shared a lot. There's so much to talk about. Let's just go ahead. We're right here anyway. Let's talk about it, guys. So he's saying, like I said at the top of the show, he's saying the plans were to release some Rebirth DLC, change of plans about half, like after the game came out, and realize that there's this, God, are we hungering for that part 3? Are we hungry? Yeah, we're hungry. All right, so he knew it. I'm starving right now. He's got to realize that's why he's doing all these interviews. It's like, yeah, just give him some, like, like when you feed your goldfish, like give him a little bit of.
Give him some flakes.
We're just nipping at the top of the water. Give me something. Give me something.
I just want a morsel. Just a morsel. Just a morsel.
Let me lick the plate, please.
So yeah, here we are. Let's talk about it, everybody. So, what's your initial thoughts, Dragoon King, when you hear that?
Regarding what, the DLC stuff that we just talked about?
Yeah.
That you opened this intro into?
Basically regarding extra content, either let's talk about the content. He said, after we release the 3rd installment, there is a possibility of having DLC for that 3rd installment. Let's start there. If there's DLC for the 3rd installment, and this is crazy to even be talking about at this point, but what would that look like to you?
Dude, I don't know, because I feel like the obvious direction, and I mean, somebody already said it in chat, but like Advent Children seems like a pretty safe bet, which would be really cool if we had playable Advent Children. I don't know how that would look. I don't know how that would work. That'd be a huge standalone DLC. I feel like that would be crazy to even think about, but it'd be cool if we saw it. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. This is something I've wrapped my head around a bit, trying to figure out, like, where do you go after, like, I would want personally, I know this is not going to happen, but I would love a playable On the Way to a Smile. I would love to follow the characters, especially some of them who have specific battle related instances. I know, like, Nanaki and I think Yuffie encounter enemies in their journey. I know that that's like a weird take, but it's something I would like to see, because we don't have, besides the book itself, we have no visual format for that. We have
Yeah.
no like movie OV. I mean, Denzel has an OVA episode. I don't remember if that's actually legit or not, or if that was like a fan made thing. But he's the only one that I think has some sort of animated format. So otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I would love to see something original too. And I feel like you have an idea of something original to go after.
I do.
Because I want to know, where do you go originally? Because like, as cool as it would be to see Advent Children or On the Way to a Smile, I feel like if you're going to do something, make it original.
See,
that would be the way.
This is what hurts my brain. What hurts my brain is when you say that right away, you have to like, this is you taking the world in which the ending of this game is exactly the same, and we lead right into On the Way to a Smile. Like, so that means everything that's built up here, that means everything has to end in a way that will lead into On the Way to a Smile, and then of course Advent Children. So if that is the case, then it's like, okay, well, if that's how the game ends, if the game is going to lead into that, I would love to see it On the Way to the Smile DLC. That's a very bite-sized little story that they can tell us in video game format, and like, sure, and then remake Advent Children. Like, I don't know, cool. Like, give us a even better version of that movie, a better version of the movie, like maybe revoiced, retooled, and all that other stuff. Cool. That's fine.
You could almost do the 15 style, like how they had like episode Prompto. You could almost, if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, like an anime.
On the Way to a Smile. Like, no, well, I'm saying not Brotherhood. I'm saying for 15's DLC, how they had episode Prompto and like they did that. You could almost for your bite size On the Way to a Smile. You take the chapters, make them playable.
So so there's that, right?
There's that. I know, but there's got to be something, man. I want something original.
When you get, so for me, and I'll talk about it in just a second. So Excalibur, what does this sound like to you? What does this look like to you if we're gonna go into a part 3 potential DLC?
This is tough, man. I mean, you guys have already said some of the stuff that was on my mind, but I would add to that some sort of DLC that focuses on Vincent. It doesn't have to segue into Dirge or anything like that, but in the same way that they gave Yuffie a DLC, I think Vincent is the character who will need it the most. He's got sort of the least meat to his entire narrative. And so whatever they do in part 3, I'm sure they're going to add more. They're going to flesh it out. They're going to do it big. But I could totally see a DLC that involves Vincent, and I'm going to go ahead and throw Sid in there too, because I would love to see these two boys just get a moment to shine, like outside of everything else, because we've basically been forced to wait, right? This whole time for these guys. And, you know, we got a tease of them in Rebirth. And so everybody's just salivating. It would be really great to sort of get just a cherry on top after part 3, get a little bit more time to spend with those boys.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's kind of tricky. Like, do you play off of the material that's already there? Like you said, On the Way to a Smile. Do you build toward Advent Children? Do you do a DLC that builds from that toward Dirge of Cerberus? Do you, like, what do you do? Because we don't know what they're going to put in part 3, right? Part 3 could have some of this stuff already. It probably will. In fact, I would be surprised if it didn't have some things pointing toward Advent Children, pointing toward Dirge. I mean, heck, Final Fantasy VII Remake had the Deep Ground stuff. So I expect a lot of that to come full circle when we return to Midgar in part 3. So what does a DLC look like? That's tough. It's got to do something that hasn't been done by the main game. Yep. And I'm assuming that main game is going to wrap up a lot of these stories and these themes by the time that curtain closes at the end, right? I don't think they're going to leave a bunch of stuff hanging. So the DLC has to be something extra, right? Like maybe Sid's out, running Bronco Airlines again, and he's got a couple guys out, and it's just some fun merc work while everybody else, Barrett's out looking for oil and all this other stuff that's leading into Advent Children. I don't know, man. What do you?
I think for Vincent, like you said, I feel like Vincent is one of those characters, and he's such a fan favorite. But he has a rich story, but it is comparatively probably the least, at least in the original game, the least fleshed out. And he also has a subsequent game to, he does have Dirge of Cerberus. I know Dan loves
He does.
So my thought going into this now, I'm thinking you have the ability here to flesh out Vincent's story, and you could do it post part 3, and then if they wanted to release that remaster of Dirge later, you kind of set up Vincent's events going after 7 that could I know you said it doesn't have to lead into Dirge, but honestly it's not the worst thing to kind of follow his headspace if you wanted to remaster that, which I mean I wouldn't be surprised despite how polarizing that game is. I wouldn't be surprised if there's talks about remastering it. So if you wanted to build that up and set that up, kind of how I feel like Intergrade did that a little bit with Crisis Core, right? Didn't Intergrade come out before Crisis Core? If I'm not mistaken, do I have that time right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
And I feel like that the more they added on Zack scenes, that sort of hyped up the Crisis Core remaster. So I feel like there's a similar school of thought you could go with there. I would love to see Vincent fleshed out. And I know that you guys are thinking I would have said Sid, but I think Vincent needs as much love as we could give him. I mean, he's a fan favorite, but I just want to see his story presented much. And I know that part 3 is going to do that. They're going to do him a lot more justice, because in the original game, I feel like, at least to me, I remember thinking that his story could have been presented a little, I guess, it's just weird. I don't know. I want Vincent stuff. Give me Vincent stuff. Make Vincent. Give me the Vincent story.
Yeah.
But what do you got, Dan?
I love it.
What do you got?
I got you, man. I got some ideas. I'm scrambling. I'm trying to find the quote. Here we go. Here we go. I'll bring it over into this one. This is Audrey with the translation. This is an interview back on July 7th, 2022. Do you plan on making other remakes from the compilation? For example, Dirge of Cerberus, Vicenero's voices were heard in Crisis Core FF7, and they also appear in FF7R Intergrade. Will they make another appearance? And Nomura says, our staff really wanted to do a remaster of Dirge of Cerberus as well as Before Crisis FF7, but after taking into consideration the cost of doing so, we have no plans at this time. We wanted them to show up in FF7 Intergrade because we wanted all of the Final Fantasy VII titles to be connected within a common world. They also appeared as very formidable bosses, so that's why we decided on that. So basically saying there's a desire to do this. There is a desire to do a remake or a remaster of Dirge of Cerberus, as well as Before Crisis. So if this is what he could be referring to, Hamaguchi talking about, hey, if we do a DLC or a full title, that full title could also be a remake or a remaster of one of those games. It's cool, right? So I look at what you're saying, and I hear all that, and I don't know if it's just my mind wanting to create a timeline that I want to see, and I'm ignoring the signs. I don't know, but I feel like the game itself is giving me signs. This is a topic for another Hypecast, and we are absolutely going to cover all of this. But the question is how will it end? That is the biggest question, and we are going to do a Hypecast on this. I'm already typed up a lot of my ideas, and I'm excited to share a lot of this with you. But how will it end is the question. That's the biggest thing. And even in this batch of interviews, that is the question that Hamaguchi wants you to think about. He keeps on saying, with Rebirth, we wanted you to think about, hey, what's going to happen to Aerith? And that's absolutely something we're going to continue on in part 3. What's this meteor going to do? How is this going to end? He wants you to think about this. Maybe it's going to end differently. And so is exactly what I'm thinking is exactly what Hamaguchi wants me to feel. So regardless, if it does end with leading right into this stuff, then all of these scenarios that you guys have just listed out works out great. All of these, yeah, sure. If we're going straight into Advent Children, give me Dirge of Cerberus freaking remakester. Give me an actual dude. Remakester is what I call, what we'll call the Crisis Core reunion, because it was more than a remaster. That was like retooled combat. Like, it felt better. It felt more modern. And imagine if they take a third-person shooter like Dirge of Cerberus and actually make that feel like a good, tight shooter.
Yeah.
That could
Needs
be
to step up.
Exactly.
I feel like Hitman. I want Vincent Hitman.
I'm thinking
DLC
more along
right
the
there.
lines
That's
of
the
like a full-blown action game. Like, if you want to go like freaking Gears of War, wasn't like, I mean, like, if you want to go like that, like, you know, you're taking cover, it's a cover-based shooter, like
Cover
Spec Ops or
system,
something.
Oh, I'm thinking like sneaky Vincent in the shadows shooting people.
I mean, hey,
like
give me a
Snake
mission. Give a mission where that happens. Isn't all the stealth missions in that game? Isn't that Kate Sith though? I can't remember. I can't.
One mission, and it's Kate Sith, and it's dog shit.
Sorry, it's old man.
Yeah, sorry. Like, that mission's awful. I'm sorry. It was funny. I liked it for all of like 10 seconds, and then the gimmick really wore out.
But here's where the change has to happen. And Major Trenton in chat right now, make it a good story, which is like Crisis Core didn't change the story at all. Everything was exactly the same. I would want them to go in and adjust a lot about Dirge of Cerberus if they're going to do that. And that goes along the lines for Advent Children as well. Like, adjust a lot and change, bring it to the modern, like, look at the storytelling in Advent Children and then look at the storytelling that we're getting in the remake trilogy. It is night and day. Like, it is so much better in the FF7R trilogy. So
just needs a little course correction, a little polish, like basically that remake treatment, right?
Yes.
So, and I want to throw out real quick, we got a super chat that we missed from Alex Maddox.
I see you, Alex, and like that was going to be a perfect segue into the next thing, right? So, I do want to give my idea for the DLC. So Alex, I got you. Thank you so much for tossing Gil. I really appreciate that. Let me give my DLC thing, and then this is going to be a great segue into the next thing. So my DLC is it's just cool. It's just freaking cool. It's not additive, which I feel like maybe that might be a problem for some people, where they're like, well, if you're going to do a prequel, it's got to be additive to the story. It's got to be doing something. But make that full title Cetra Genova, like that era when Genova arrives. Give me that. That would be insane if I'm playing as a Cetra in like the Cetra are not extinct. This is the peak of civilization. This is the freaking High Republic of Star Wars, right? We got Jedi everywhere, right?
So is this like playable Oron, playable Yuna? You see where I'm going
back
with
then,
this.
this thing was called Unaleska. They didn't call it. Yeah, they didn't call it Genova back then. Oh my god. Oh man. So like a prequel.
Keep on going.
That prequel 2,000 years ago would be freaking epic to me. I would love to see that. Genova, Cetra, the arrival of Genova. You could even give us a lot of that Guy Cetra storyline that was happening there. You can really flesh out a lot of that history and play that history. I think that would be really, really cool. It changes, it removes you so far from the main story of Cloud and company, and Cloud and Sephiroth, like that, it takes you away from that, so it would feel new and fresh, but you can keep a lot of the systems, and you got you're playing as a Cetra, and imagine the storyline of like seeing the dead come back to life, like people you lost, family members and friends and loved ones, and then like manipulating everybody, and like just like Genova taking over would be
the far plane.
Bro, so you can go play Final Fantasy II. Yeah. Just go play. They'll call them.
Keep on. You're cooking. Keep going.
So exactly, right? So I think this would be a really cool idea for a full title in the Final Fantasy 7 universe. Now, if you read his quote exactly, he's not saying Final Fantasy 7 for a lot of people. Like, he says the wider audience for Final Fantasy as a whole. He's not talking about Final Fantasy 7. Even though he's very much talking about it all the way up until the point where he's like, hey, the conclusion is probably going to, bring a much wider audience to Final Fantasy as a whole. So whether or not we do DLC or a full title is something we are actively considering. So to Alex Maddox, who tossed Gil at us, and we really appreciate that, says, I say we go for a 4th game instead of a 6 to 8 hour DLC. I can take Final Fantasy 7 content until the day I die. So, Alex.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hold on, I gotta freaking, your video is messed up. It's like, wow,
hey,
why, wow,
Oh, is it reversed?
Yeah,
yeah, wow. Evil Wily says, wow.
Go ahead.
Oh, now you're good.
Yeah.
Now you're good.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Turned into
Walla
Wario.
Wily, right?
Yeah, Walla Wally.
Wally.
Wally. Oh, that actually just sounds like the robot. Wally.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Wally.
All right, Alex. I don't. Here's what I want to say. I don't know how to say this. Because I love Final Fantasy 7. It means a lot to me. It actually it transformed my life. Right? And I was talking to my kids, and I was like, "Listen, this Minecraft of yours, it feels kind of like my Final Fantasy 7. You know what I mean? The way that it's consumed you, right?" And I'm like, Final Fantasy 7 consumed me, right? And I was like, who knows, man? Maybe 30 years from now, you'll be thinking about Minecraft. You'll be doing a podcast on it, right? Celebrating it. And I was like, that's what's happening to me because of Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 means it's transcended video games. I don't even need to go into this too much. You guys know it. You guys know it, how much I love Final Fantasy 7. But
Yeah.
But
That's a big butt. Dude.
oh yeah, it is. I like them. I can't lie.
Peach booty popping.
And I cannot lie. Peach booty popping.
Shout out.
Where is Peach Booty at? Once the
Peach booty's in the chat.
Once the chat.
He's
here.
Final Fantasy 17 will be Final Fantasy 10 plus Final
Peach
Fantasy
Booty,
7.
pop in, please.
Peach Booty
That was the
is in
comment.
there. I thought I was gonna say
Yeah.
Peach Booty just abandoned us once we did the chapter by chapter was
Nope.
over. No, he's
Peach is popping.
Peach Booty is
Poppin'
back
booty.
popping.
Oh, dude.
So here
Peach Booty popped in. All right. don't forget.
Peach booty popped in.
here's my butt.
Please don't show me that. Just tell me.
Yeah. Just give us the clarifier,
Yeah,
Dan.
just tell me. Just spark note your butt.
Okay, let me spark.
Give us the abridged version.
I'll take subtitles. I don't need the visual.
Yeah, I'm really starting to feel very divided about this topic.
Is there a split? Is that what you're saying? All right, y'all.
Don't be cheeky.
Here we go. Okay. All right. Reining it in. Listen, David, Alex. David, Alex. I don't know. Alex, my bad. I feel like you go by David sometimes. Here we go. Here we go, man. Here's the truth. I want conclusion. I want finality. I want an end. I want an ending. All right. So when the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy began, when we got all those changes in remake, and we got what that was setting up, and then Rebirth, what they're setting up, feels like it's going to end differently. To me, feels like it's going to end differently, which means feels like to me that they're introducing all of these elements from the wider compilation and we're bringing it into a complete story. And I want part 3 to be the definitive end of Final Fantasy VII. And I know, that means I did not get super hyped when I saw him talking about DLC. I was like, no. DLC means you're going to continue the story. And I want closure. Like, let there be a legacy. There's got to be a legacy. And if that was a keyword that a lot of people threw around, I want that to be a thing, right? Let this game live on for 30 years in the memories. Nomura smiled when I said that. Memories, all right? Don't keep feeding us too much Final Fantasy VII. Maybe I might be in the minority of this thought process, but I would rather see Final Fantasy VII Part 3 be a definitive end. But then again, I don't know what I want. And they give it to me and I'm excited, so we'll see what happens. The moment that I see the freaking DLC trailer for On the Way to a Smile, Denzel, I'm like, oh, let's go! Freaking yeah! Hypecast! So who knows?
I can't wait for the 1 hour episode about Denzel.
Yeah.
So Dan, how would you feel if the DLC was that Advent Children rebuild that you're talking about? And that's literally what it is, because Advent Children is a nice, compact experience. Imagine that they turn that into a 6 to 8 hour DLC. That is the DLC. So it's giving you that sense of closure by adding on to it, but not by adding on to the original game, right? The original game is done with Part 3. And then the DLC is you had.
Yeah, it still goes along with the idea.
How would you feel about that?
If Advent Children is a thing, then that means the story has to continue, right? So like, and this is me almost like bucking against.
He wants to retcon Advent.
I'm bucking against something that's already been told, but I feel like I'm only giving this
broken.
Yeah, break the cycle.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
break it. Okay.
So, but the idea is that if Final Fantasy VII Part 3 ends, and like I know we're spinning tires, but like if it goes right into Advent Children, then that means the story didn't change. Like we are still ending in a way. I know Katase, and we have a conversation about that as well coming up in a Hypecast, but we'll link to Advent Children. He said link up with Advent Children. That doesn't. We can dissect that as well, right? we can dissect that and make that the way I want it to be. so I can always twist some words, man, and make it go the way I want it to. But
dude,
but yeah, if it goes, so if at the end of Part 3 we conclude and it's like that was very satisfying, that was amazing, and it's going to end, and yes, Advent Children is next. Let's watch that because that's what's next. That's the next thing. And then we get the remaster of Dirge of Cerberus. Cool. That means Dirge of Cerberus, at the end of that, we know there's a secret thing. That means the story will continue on and on and on for years and years and years. Because once we get that Genesis... Well, no, I'm saying, like, if we get a remake of Dirge of Cerberus, Genesis is carrying Vice and saying we have much work to do, and then it goes, there's more work to do.
Yeah.
So is that the full title, right? Is there a new game that's more of like a Turk type centered thing that gives you closure to the whole thing, or does it just keep going forever?
I want to circle back to what you said earlier, where you were like, I would like to see some Vincent DLC. Now, if it ends the way I want it to end, right? If it ends the way I want it, where it's a definitive end. We could pull the thing that Dragoon Lee key. The Dragoon leaking.
He's leaking.
What's he leaking?
Boiler,
I don't
man.
like
Come
that.
on now.
Boiler's leaking.
Boiler's leaking.
The boiler's leaking. The Dragoon King said about Final Fantasy 15 bringing that in. Do you remember? Well, you don't remember because I don't want to do any spoilers. But there's a moment where a character leaves. And then,
okay, yeah, I think I know which one you're.
What happens when that character leaves? We'll find out in the DLC. So if like Vincent says, "There's something I need to take care of," and then he goes away, and it's like, okay, cool. He's going back to like we parachute into Midgar. We parachute into Midgar, and Vincent goes, "I must take care of something," and then he goes down to deep ground, and we don't know what happens.
No,
there.
he's sticking with us for the parachute, but I get what you're saying. He's got to stick with us because we got to see Hojo with him.
What if on the way down they got some freaking anti-air, and like Vincent falls down and he falls into the same hole that Wedge fell into, and then he ends up in deep ground, and then he's like, "Oh man, here I am in deep ground. Let me take care of some loose ends," and then we get rid of the deep ground. That's the loose ends. I think
they do split the party when they return to Midgar. I think absolutely they split the party.
I just imagine Vincent's with you in the main party in that segment, but
I imagine Vincent will be with you when you get to Hojo. Right? There's a whole lot of the proud Claude. There's a lot of stuff that can go down where the party's separated. You get to Hojo, and then Vincent's like, "I'm back," and like, "What happened?" Find out in the DLC. Right? And it's like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Okay.
So,
all right.
So there's that, right? Like the game can.
So the
end,
DLC would overlap the main story, similar to the DLC in Remake.
Yes, but not take place after the events. It would take place at some point during the events of Part 3. Yeah.
I ain't mad at that. Okay. Yeah.
Now, Dan, I think what you're missing here.
Yeah.
I think that final DLC is going to just be Naoki and Vincent talking 500 years in the future.
where they both can't die. So
this is your finality, right? Yes, they can't. They're chilling, and then they got to deal with the threat that's Genesis, who came back, and they kill him, and it's done. And that's your finality. It's a 4-hour mystery campaign following the trail for some threat that came back, and it's Genesis, Weiss, and Nero, and they take him out, and then Vincent and Naoki just go get lunch, and that's it. That's the end of the game. That's the end of 7. We took care of it. I know we set up Genesis for an alley-oop. We know we brought Weiss. Cool. They're gone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I like my idea. That's where we end it.
That means
500 years in the future, kill everyone off besides those two.
Kill everyone off.
But see, that's God, this is another conversation for sure. But if we want a definitive end and we want to teach a lesson, we want to make sure the freaking theme is intact at the end and everything is resolved, maybe, I don't know. But if everything is resolved at the end of Part 3, well, Vincent can't be immortal. That is the antithesis of what is happening in the story. So Vincent is an issue that we need to see taken care of in Part 3. That's a story for another time.
We need to take care of that. Somebody needs to take.
I mean,
you're calling to arms.
All the Vincent profile pictures are coming at me, bro. They're gonna. I'm not. Yo,
you angered a third of your Discord or something.
So that is a very interesting conversation we will talk about when we get to the Vincent Hypecast, but because we are definitely going to do that. All right, y'all. So I like this conversation right now. I really enjoyed that one. All right, guys, that was the DLC topic, and gosh, that almost took up the show. So I think that was amazing. We have the headline covered. Chat, have you guys been keeping up with chat by any chance?
We do have another super chat in there.
Oh, we do
have another super chat. Yes.
Oh, from Kofi. Kofi
Amankwa.
Nice. Says a fourth game in the style of an expansion game similar to Infamous First Light or Spider-Man Miles Morales could definitely work for the series, especially with a unique original story with Deep Ground. Yes. So this is, in a way, I feel like this is Dirge of Cerberus. The idea that you're pitching does sound like Dirge of Cerberus, but it also kind of blends in pretty well with what we were talking about, like a side-by-side story that happens simultaneously in the events of Part 3, not after. Very cool. Very cool.
Give me the Turks perspective. Let me play the Turks. I want to play there. And then the boss battles are us.
They evacuated Midgar, right? Like they evacuated Midgar during, or like tried to get as many people out when Meteor was coming, right?
Say they have another 2 or 3 Turk battles. Let me play their perspective going up to our moments, and then we get the inverse. Wait, I want to know. No, I'm kind of serious. I want to know. It'd be cool to play the villain perspective. I mean, Grant, now you got to build like 4 playable characters from the ground up.
Well, we got Reno Rude. Oh, well, Reno. Yeah, that'd be tough.
Well, if you just did Reno and Rude, then
Reno Rude.
you're fine.
Elena and Sung.
And some, yeah.
Yeah,
So you just
perfect.
yeah.
Even playing as them would be fun. You got your monk.
I wanted that for
your...
Rebirth because we got a lot of them in Rebirth. I would have loved that as a DLC. Just their perspective leading up to each of the fights that we had to do. Them going through the dungeons, especially in the temple. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
Playing as them and then crossing over and the boss fights are Cloud. Imagine the boss fight is Cloud, Tifa, and Barret.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you mentioned Barret, and honestly, this is the bitter and sweet, right? The bittersweet of this being the conclusion, right? This is the final game. So we got to say goodbye to these characters, right? And that's going to be tough, right? It's like, it's really hype, it's really exciting, but then we think about it and you're like, oh no, man, John Eric Bentley, we got to say bye to Brianna White. Like, we're never going to see them again. Like, of course we're going to see them again, but it's not like we're not going to see them as Barret and Aerith or, like Cody Christian as Cloud. Like, it's like, oh man, but that is the hype of part 3. That is the excitement, man. We are building up to something that is like the conclusion of any trilogy is always so hype, dude. This is the end.
Yeah.
And of course
it's a send off.
When the credits roll, I guarantee you I'm going to cry. There's no doubt I'm going to cry unless if they did something crazy. Even if it ends right into part 3. Even if it ends and goes right into Advent Children, I still am going to feel something. And if it goes if it ends, there's only one way that this thing would not make me cry, and I would probably say that throw the whole game out the window, but I'll talk about that later. There's only one way, but yeah, but it's still like, I mean, this is hype. We're building up to something, guys. This is why we're doing a Hypecast like a year and a half out, right? Weekly Hypecasts. So yeah, like I would love to see DLC with Barret, because that means John Eric Bentley comes back. I'd love to see all this. But it's like, man, I really also just want an conclusion.
Well, if you want to give those voice actors work, get them in the next Kingdom Hearts. Bring Final Fantasy back into Kingdom Hearts. I want like remake Barret in Kingdom Hearts 4. I want remake Aerith. Yeah. Like, bring them back.
Real talk. Keep going.
Kingdom Hearts has stepped away from Final Fantasy a bit too much. Bring them back. Keep their jobs going. Come on, Square. Let's get them jobs. Let's keep them going. I want to see John Eric Bentley and Donald Duck hanging out. I want to see them talking. Come on. That's how we don't say good. Like, we say goodbye to 7, we wrap up 7, but keep them
going in Kingdom Hearts.
Keep them going with Kingdom Hearts.
Talk about something that fans want so badly that wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 3. Put Final Fantasy back in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. All right? And you have a great modernized cast for it.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know what we know what Sora looks like in like the real world, but if he can kind of look realistic, get these characters in.
Yes.
I know that this had nothing to do with Kingdom Hearts. That could be a different Hypecast, but dude, like,
he said full title. No, yeah. All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. Because let's talk about the wider audience for Final Fantasy as a whole. He's not, like, I mentioned this. It's not specifically saying, hey, there might be a more popularity for Final Fantasy VII at the end of part 3. He's saying for Final Fantasy. So the way I read this, when I first read this, I read it as, oh, he's talking about Final Fantasy 17, or maybe even, hear me out, Final Fantasy 18, which would be amazing if you get freaking wait, what are they called now? They're not called Creative Studio 1, right? Creative Studio 1 working on 18 while somebody else, hopefully Creative Studio 3, was already started on 17, please, God. Even though I've seen the interviews where they're like, oh, we're still deliberating, we don't know. And it's like, it means you haven't started. The game came out in 2023. It's been 2 years. You got to have something for 17. You can't just be sitting on your laurels. You know what I mean? You can't be just sitting there. So I feel like 17's already been in development, hopefully. That means, hey, you know what we really need to do as a brand? We need to make Final Fantasies again that don't take 7 years to come out. So if you get CS3 already working on 17, we get CS1 working on 18, and then 17 comes out 2 years later, 18. And we got a cadence now. We have a cadence of Final Fantasies coming out where people are excited again. Mr.
I'm
Bigglesworth
excited.
with the 777 tossing the gill. Want to hear more about Dan's hypothetical crash out?
I make one
I kind of
prediction.
did too. I can't lie.
Can I make one prediction about this?
I want to think about it a little bit, Bigglesworth. I know you tossed the gill, and I feel like that's an obligation. I should share this with you, but I almost want to refine my thoughts and give it to you. Now I'm going to give you the option, Bigglesworth. I'll keep an eye on chat.
No one refines a crash out.
You
Wait a minute.
We want you to lose your mind.
Out. Dude, it's not a crash out then.
Mr. Bigglesworth, I'm
live.
live. I'm live on air. I'm live on air, Mr. Bigglesworth. If I start talking about it, I might get really upset and I might say some things that are not appropriate. Okay? So I'm just trying to want to rein it in. I want to think about it. He's like, now I absolutely want you to do it. Get Final Fantasy TV canceled before the 5th anniversary.
Listen, tell us how you feel about Glenn, because I know that's where it's going. Or if it wasn't, it is now.
I hope he saves the day.
Let me explain.
I hope he saves the day. I hope he defeats Sephiroth. Him and Cloud, father son. Yeah, it's like the Goku Gohan father son Kamehameha. I want
Glenn reaches through the live
Cloud.
stream, pulls Claudia through the live stream, and together Glenn and Claudia defeat Sephiroth.
I'm ending the show. I got the power to do that. I can end it right now.
One day I'm gonna get Dan to just eject me live on the show, and I hope.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kick him. Get out of here.
Just kick me. Yeah. Sorry for bringing up Glenn.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy Files brings up Creative Studio 3 did Tactics in 14. Yes. Wait, did somebody ask that question, or are you just making a general statement? My bad. I don't know. Either way, but yeah. So they were working on Tactics, which I imagine was like a portion of the team. I don't think that was a full team effort there. I would imagine that we have the people in the planning stages of 17 already, like, got the concept done. We're in production. I would hope. And now that would make sense. That would line up with the interviews saying like, hey, whether that's going to be turn-based or action, we don't know. And it's like, well, maybe you don't really know yet. I don't know. 2 years in development, feel like you kind of should. But he might also be talking about his next Final Fantasy, which is Final Fantasy 18, hopefully. Right? So that's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say is that I would love to see a cadence of these games start to drop more often, because that is the reason why we have so many people saying, do I have to play 15 and know what's going on in 16? It's because 15 came out 8 years ago. And we got a whole new generation getting into Final Fantasy by the time your next game comes out. That doesn't work. You got to get these games out a little more often, more frequently, and you have 3 studios. You got CS 1, 2, and 3. Let's get some games out. Let's start working on Final Fantasy. So anyways, that's my thoughts on that. So I mean, I'm bringing up another quote too. Like I think we can go on into some of the smaller quotes, because like while we wrap up the show, where he says, doesn't think there's a demand for Final Fantasy VII Remake on mobile, was one of the things he said, which is interesting because mobile being one of the biggest platforms, I feel like it would probably do pretty decent, but I also don't want to see a mobile. I read this as, and pardon me if I sound a little harsh or brash on this, but there's no money to be made. So, I can't monetize a game that's a full game. It's got to be monetized. So Expedition 33's positive reception, they received a lot of JRPGs are back in the comments, but he's not going to just make a game and say, I'm going to make a turn-based game or an action game. It can go either way. Depends on what appeals to the fans. Very interesting wording there. I am one of the people that actually really enjoy action-based. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake has the best combat system, pretty much of any Final Fantasy. So I would love to see Final Fantasy VII Remake's trilogy's battle system become kind of the new normal. And I feel like he said in an interview, didn't he say that? Like if we reuse the battle system or we iterate on that for future titles? There was something out there that said that. Yeah, I see you in there, Toolman. Stranger of Paradise 2? Or Stranger to Stranger to Paradise, you know what I'm saying? to Stranger to Paradise.
2 strangers in paradise.
2 Stranger to Paradise. I mean, it's Final Fantasy Origin 2. Okay, let's call it by its subtitle. And then what did we come up with as that? Paradise Lost. God, it was so good.
Yeah,
we cooked on that Final Fantasy 2 that nobody watched. We cooked on that one, bro.
So go watch.
We really cooked on that one. Final Fantasy Origin 2, Paradise Lost. Good stuff. Good stuff. If you want to know more about that context, please watch that one. Please just click onto it. Just click it and give it a view. That way it doesn't look like it's the worst video we've ever made.
If you watch it, you actually get the ability to speak Beaver. Fun fact.
That is... Oh my gosh.
That is
and
true.
You get to see one of the best openings we've ever done, completely flawless.
That's right. That's right. Never, not a second take on that.
Not a single issue.
Not a single issue. Patreon supporters get to see the alleged issues.
The perfection. The alleged everything going wrong. Allegedly.
I mean, actually, Lee, Wiley, and Vinny showed their beavers on camera.
That is true.
Yes, we did.
You can't,
I mean, I'm not telling a lie.
The
what resembled
a
a beaver?
Questionable.
What resembled a beaver? So, anyways,
mine was an otter named Beaver, but yeah.
Mine was a beaver that looked awful like a dog.
Guys,
I don't know why I got southern.
Guys, like a dog.
Pet that dog.
I don't know why it looked like a dog.
I didn't just rehearse this this voiceover. Oh, I'm the real Sid. That's all I hear.
The real Sid.
All right, guys, because the rest of these quotes, a lot of these quotes are about the story, and I think we're going to save that for next week's Hypecast. A lot of the stuff about changes, or shoot, we might even do the ending predictions next week. But we also have the flow of the storyline from the OG's FF7. This is regarding Rocket Town and like how that was removed from Rebirth and moved to Part 3. This is one of the things that I'm really excited about, and we'll talk about it next week. But he says, basically, I want to make all of the elements and essence of the original game come true in Remake Project. God, that's a hype one, man. I could go for another hour, but we're not going to do that. Sorry, everybody. And so I don't.
There lies chat's hopes and dreams.
Put them in the white or the clear materia. You know what I mean? Put them in the clear materia. We'll use it next week. All right, you guys. That is going to be the conclusion of the Hypecast. But hey, don't go anywhere. Got some exciting news. All right. I should have had some graphics pulled up. I should have had. If I was prepared. I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared for this, but I got some cool news. All right, for the final anniversary event on November 1st, we're gonna have limit break bars. Okay, and these limit break bars are gonna have goals attached to them, so you can fill up the limit break bar by becoming a Patreon supporter. Right, everybody who subscribes to the Patreon will fill up the limit break bar, and once it's filled, you unlock that limit break. All right, so the very first one was Final Fantasy VII Advent Children movie analysis and review. So we will do a complete breakdown and we will analyze the crap out of that movie, right? And every frame, we're going to look at that movie and analyze it for you. And it might even be a podcast series, whatever it turns into, we don't know yet. But we're gonna
Lee is very excited to analyze the live stream shot.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, chat! Please hit this limit break because I want to share my. I want to share my
oh no, that's right. That's
so
right.
Bad.
You have an excuse now. You have a reason.
Dude, I need to share that so bad. So yeah, you gotta get there. You gotta get there.
You have a reason now. Actually, I can probably bring this up right here. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring up my discovery. I was like, no, same. No.
So this is the
sacred visual.
The no graphics.
The sacred visual.
No actually thought out graphics. But hey, I'm gonna reveal to you the limit breaks here, and as you can see, we already have 2 new Patreon supporters right there. But here's the limit breaks. Let me make that full screen. I don't know. We'll put it over here. So, as you can see, the limit break is already kind of building here with a 2. If you come in at the second tier, it's going to add 2. If you come in at the 3rd tier, it adds 3. 4th tier, it adds actually, we just went ahead and say that gives you an automatic limit break if you come in at that tier, which is like ultimate. It's the ultimate weapon. So yeah, you can go patreon.com/FinalFanTV, and I'll put that on there, .com/FinalFanTV. So there you go. So if you come in, you can come in at the tier 1, and that will give you 1 notch on the limit break bars, and we're gonna fill this out and see how far we can get. So obviously, as you can see, the Final Fantasy movie review and analysis, that's up. That's Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Let's be real, that's what you guys want to see. I doubt you're gonna. I mean, I'll put it up to a vote for all the Patreon. You guys can vote on which one you want to see, but probably gonna be Advent Children. And then the Final Fantasy VII book club. So we're going to do a sit down reading the book, and maybe even do a live reading while you guys get to watch along at certain tiers in the Patreon. And of course, we'll have the video, the edited video will publish to YouTube after the monthly Open Door Hypecast, which means you get to come on the show and bring the hype. Movie through the lens of Final Fantasy VII. And that's it. That's kind of a mystery one. That's a mystery one. Is it Shrek? Who knows? It could be. It could be Shrek with the view of Final Fantasy VII. All right? It's going to be an interesting one. Wheel of Final Fantasy mini game show adventure series. That's right. The panel, Dragoon King, Excalibur, and the Fire Go Fighter will go on an adventure with some Wheel of Fortune inspired mini game show. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake chapter by chapter analysis reviewed and ranked. I know you guys have been asking for it. This is your chance. If you want to fill up that limit break, you got to get there. You got to get there. And then we'll do a chapter by chapter analysis. And that could put on the reviewed and ranked of the Final Fantasy series on hold for a little bit. But I'm sure this is what you guys want to see. We don't really have plans on doing this unless you hit the limit break, and then we will. Then Final Fantasy VII Revisited, which could be a Let's Play, as we talk about what could stay the same and what could change in Part 3. So we're talking basically a chapter by chapter of that game, of the original game, starting from Disc 2, and just kind of going on theory mode, full-on theory mode. So that's really exciting. So these are very exciting limit breaks to hit if you guys want to do that. We just want to basically give you a way to support, and we want to give you a way to say thank you. So we can continue doing this into year 6 of Final Fan TV, and make year 6 a very exciting and a big one for Final Fan TV. Gosh, I mean, that just looking at this makes me kind of excited about it. So, and then the last thing I do want to say before I let you guys go is that Final Fantasy Draft Build of Final Fantasy, Genesis 7, and Pez with 2 Z's will be guests on that. We're going to basically do a snake draft, taking turns, a turn-based snake draft, as we grab certain elements to put on our team. So like the direction of the story direction, right? Who's that coming from? So you can put Sakaguchi on your team, but beware, if you pick Sakaguchi on your first turn, well, guess what? Somebody's going to snag the composer, Nobu Uematsu, right? So it's like you got to be it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. And then after that is the Final Fantasy Family Feud, and I will make those guest announcements on the next week's Hypecast. So very excited about that, to let you know who's competing against who. Woo! All right. And that is the Hypecast, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I know a lot of housekeeping. I'm just really excited about Final Anniversary 5, guys. I'm really excited about that.
Well, 5 years, something to be proud of, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is, bro.
Thank you. And I want to talk
Happy
about
anniversary,
that too.
Dan.
Thanks, man.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you.
I was
on
there for
this.
year 2.
Yeah. You're part of the history, bro. You were, and then
I was there for year 2.
Excalibur, you were on year 4. You were on last year's. Yeah. And then so you guys are part of the history, and there's people in the comments and chat that were here for a very long time, and I'm man, that's what keeps me going. That's what honestly, it's just really, really cool So to celebrate 5 years and having some pretty cool friends come on and just want to be part of the show and celebrate 5 years is really cool. So there you have it, everybody. I'll see you next week. It's going to be a special one because, well, Halloween is that week, isn't it?
I'm sorry, it sounded like you said Halloween is.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but I wasn't gonna say anything. Come on, Lee. Come on, Lee.
Halloweenus.
You're so mature, Lee. You're so mature.
I couldn't help it.
I'm gonna call that episode Halloweenus. Oh, and there's one more thing for the Patreon supporters before I close this thing out. If you're a Patreon supporter at the Bringer of Hype tier, you get to watch a live stream, the very first ever live stream dedicated just for you. Nobody else will see it. It's not Final Fantasy related. It's the 10 games that get to know us by. So we're going to go ahead and do that trend. So if you want to get to know more about us, subscribe to the Patreon, fill up the limit break bars, and get exclusive content. Thank you so much for watching. The live stream will begin soon. The link will be in the Discord and the post on YouTube for you party members. Thank you so much for watching.